Hi everyone, welcome to my new live session. And today, what I'm going to talk about is keeping healthy while you're getting stuck at home, right? So, if you're feeling a little like with your health, or you're bored, or you're anxious, or you're just sick and tired of everybody in your household because you're not used to self-isolating, that's totally understandable, right? We're all kind of going through this at the same time, so I completely understand where you're coming from. And so what I want to do is I just want to give you some simple tips to try and keep you healthy and sane while you're stuck at home. Okay, so what we're going to start with is keeping active. And I mean this both physically and mentally. Now let's start with the physical side of things. If you are keeping a regular schedule of exercising at least 3 or 4 times a week, then you're doing a great job, right? And we want to try and get into that routine. If you can, ideally, what you want to be doing is a minimum of 30 minutes a day, every day. If you're doing more than that, great. It's good for your mental well-being just to kind of get your body active and release all those endorphins, hormones that make you feel good. But it's also good for your immune system, right? To boost your immune system and keep you healthy and strong while all this crazy coronavirus pandemic is going on. So it's very, very important to try and do that. Now, you may not be able to go to your normal studio or to the gym, but there are plenty of online resources for videos of how to do exercising at home. And my free guide also has a 30-minute exercise routine that you can do at home, in your lounge, or in your garden. It's quick, it's easy. You don't need any equipment or any weights or anything like that. So you can download that on my website, or you can get it from my Facebook group as well, Mind Shift Me Community. So come and join me there. I'm usually posting bits and pieces there, so you can get it there. But like I said, there are plenty of videos out there that you can access. Now, if you are living in a place where you are allowed to go outside and exercise for a period of time, that's great, because you can go for a walk or go for a run or something like that. Just make sure that you're still social distancing from other people. Like, don't go in a big group of people for a walk. You want to be keeping that to a minimum of 2 people, ideally on your own is even better. The other side of the equation when it comes to keeping active is keeping your brain active. Now, the important reason for this is that the more productive or active we are during the day, the more productive we feel. And that has a bearing on your mental well-being, right? Because we all need purpose in our lives. And when our routine is taken out of whack, and you're kind of just sitting on the couch watching Netflix, don't have anything of value to add to the day, that can start to chip away at your self-confidence and actually cause depression. So we want to be staying away from that by making sure that we're staying productive. And ways that you can do that is keeping your brain active, whether that's doing a puzzle or doing quizzes or learning a new language or doing arts and crafts, painting, music, journaling, writing, or doing DIY projects around the house that you can. Anything to keep you active and productive and your brain ticking over, that's what's important, right? So just make sure that you spend some time doing that. Now, if you're already working from home, hang on, I need a cup of coffee. Or a sip at least. Now, if you're already working from home, it's important to make sure that you're getting that work-life balance. So yeah, you might be being productive, but you might be actually burning yourself out. And so you need some structure in your day so that you see, okay, this period of time is office time, this period of time is home time. So set those boundaries in place so that you are not overworking. It's very easy to just go straight from the bedroom in your pajamas straight down to your desk and work. And then the evening comes and you're still not switched off and your phone's blowing up, etc., etc., etc. You need those compartmentalizations. And, one suggestion would be to set an alarm so that you take a 30-minute break in the middle of the day to walk around, go and have some lunch, sit outside if you can, or on your balcony, or just decompress from your computer screen or your phone. or take 10-minute breaks every hour just to go and get up and walk around and, drink some water, or, whatever it is, just to take that screen break. And then in the evenings, make sure that you have a cutoff time where you go, okay, work finishes at X time, now I'm into home time. And you have that differentiator. It'll really, really help stop you from burning out or getting overwhelmed or overworked. Now, if you are going out to run errands, whether that's to the grocery store or the pharmacy, obviously we want to try and limit that as much as possible. But if you need to go out every now and then, just make sure, even if you're going out for exercise, just make sure that when you come back home, that you wash your hands immediately. Now, there are going to be certain things that you have to touch, like the front door handle or your keys or the light switch or whatever it is. Just make sure that you wipe everything that you've touched down, particularly your phone and door handles and light switches. Those are the biggies that just are germ magnets, because we touch them so often and we don't even think about it. So just be conscious of, although when you're in the house and if you're all healthy, there's no need to go crazy on wiping everything down all the time. But as soon as you step outside, you're obviously at a higher risk, and anything that you touch, if you bring it back to the house, just make sure you wipe everything down. Okay, so another issue that people tend to have is feeling lonely or stressed or depressed or anxious, right? And in fact, now might be a good time to ask you, like, what is your biggest issue with self-isolating? Is it stress eating? Is it stress or anxiety? Or is it this work-life balance? So tell me what you think, what are your biggest issues? But if it is feeling lonely or feeling isolated because you're used to being a social butterfly and hanging out with your friends or your colleagues, it can be a really, really tough time for you, right? All the introverts are probably going, "Way, yay, I'm in my happy place." But for the extroverts in the room, it's really, really hard. And it's something that we're not used to. So if you are one of these type of people that needs other people around, just make sure that you're scheduling time to actually speak to other people, and try and use the video function of any technology that you're using. We're very lucky nowadays that we have so many different avenues to connect with people online, whether that's Zoom or WhatsApp or FaceTime, House Party, Skype. And obviously it's always easier to see the person. It feels more natural to have a conversation when you can see somebody. So where you can, use the video function. I know sometimes our internets can be a little iffy because everybody's online at the moment, but it's important to schedule a specific time. So if you have a group of girlfriends or family members, why not schedule a weekly quiz night, pub night? Or if your girlfriends have an online book club that you meet once every 2 weeks or once a week, whatever that is. Just schedule that time so that you feel like you're still connecting with people outside of your house. If you do live with people inside your house, sometimes it can be tough if you don't have a lot of space and you're kind of all underfoot. So just be aware of that and give each other some privacy or some space to, go about your day, and respect that everybody is going through this together, and it's tough. It's tough if you're all in the same space. But saying that, it's also important to connect with the other people in your house. So try and aim to have at least one meal together, whether that's your evening meal. Set the table, sit down, ban Corona talk from the table, and just have a nice, enjoyable, relaxed, calm, fun evening where you can chat, you can have a meal, you can catch up with each other, and then you can go on and do your thing. But it's a good time to reconnect with people in your house, but without, being, in each other's faces all the time. Now, another good thing is to try and get some fresh air or nature. There's a lot of research that shows that being in nature actually boosts your mood. So particularly if you're feeling anxious or depressed, try and get out if you're allowed. Every country is different with their curfews, but if you are able to get outside, try and do that for at least half an hour. Maybe that's your exercise time. And, go and look at the trees or look at the flowers, breathe in that fresh air. Now, if you can't, or you live in an area that you are not able to get outside, go on the balcony, get in your garden, open a window. Just even the fresh air will help boost your mood. So it's important to try and, get some sort of view of some nature of sorts. Limit your media as well, or your social media feed. If you're starting to feel really anxious all the time, it could be that you're watching too much stuff on TV. Now, it's a scary world out there right now. I'm not going to downplay that. It is. Everybody's world is a little topsy-turvy, and it can be tough, right, to have to deal with that. So it's important to filter out what's necessary and what's unnecessary. So yes, it's important to keep up to date and know what's going on in the world, but there can be too much of that, right? So try and limit your time or your spent or the types of feeds that you're looking at. If it's a lot of negativity, a lot of hype, a lot of fear mongering, and that plays on your anxiety, limit that. That's unnecessary. Now, if you do start to feel sick, you start to feel symptoms of COVID-19, and if you live with other people, what you can try to do is isolate yourself from the rest of the family. So if you do have the space to go and sleep in another room, use a separate bathroom, that's ideal to the rest of the family, and then eat your meals separately to the rest of the family. This just helps limit the risk that you will pass it on to a family member. Whether you live with other people or you live on your own, don't go straight to the doctor's office. Most countries have a hotline if you are feeling symptoms. So call the hotline and tell the healthcare person on the phone what your symptoms are, and then take their direction, whether you need to come in to your doctor's office, to the hospital, whatever that is, or stay at home. Don't go straight out without contacting them first, because you are then putting other people at risk outside. Now, a lot of my clients and friends have been talking to me about stress eating. Now, this is a big area of my expertise, and I know that a lot of people are kind of suffering from stress eating at the moment, and it's totally understandable, right? It's a very crazy time, and also being at home all day, the fridge is right there, boredom creeps in if you're not keeping yourself active or productive. And it's easy to slip into that, well, let's just snack all day. And what we want when we're stress eating, what we want is we want to soothe our emotions or our stress. Now, the same thing happens with people who are dieting constantly, chronic dieters. And we also get into this stress or binge eating. And the reason is when we eat high sugary foods or high fat foods, what it does is it gives us a boost of a feel-good hormone called dopamine. And dopamine, although it makes you feel good, makes you feel better, especially when you're stressed or anxious or bored, it gives you that sort of pep, should I say, it doesn't last very long. And then it just adds to your anxiety, because then you feel lethargic, you're putting on weight, you're feeling unhealthy, you're feeling guilty. And so it just perpetuates more stress and anxiety. So we don't want to be in that world. It's understandable why it's happening, but we want to try and curb that. And one of the best ways to start to do that is just become more mindful as an eater. And what that means is really start to tap into what's really going on in here, right? So, one way you can do that is to leave little post-it notes on your fridge or on your Tupperware or, your biscuit tin in your pantry, just questions for yourself. Like, do you really want this? How are you feeling? What's the reason that you're hungry? Now, if you're genuinely hungry and that's what you're craving, absolutely, go and have it. But if you are not really hungry and you're just eating because you're bored or because you're stressed, these are the questions you want to ask yourself. Like, oh, actually, I'm really stressed out. And then dig a little deeper. Like, why am I stressed out now? Oh, because I was watching, the news, and it kind of, boosted my anxiety because it was very fear-mongering. Okay, so maybe I need to limit my media, or I was just bored because I'd just been sitting on the couch watching Netflix all day, and so I needed a pick-me-up. So understanding those and then solving for those reasons, rather than just trying to plaster it over with eating sugary food, that's going to help curb the stress eating. Now, if you do want some more ideas about stress eating or some exercise ideas, I do have this free guidebook on, staying healthy and sane during this coronavirus pandemic. It is free. You can download it either from my website mindshiftme.com, and then it's on the free stuff page. Or I'll post the link in this post, and it's also on my Mind Shift Me community free group. So that's kind of where I hang out a lot of the time. And, you can absolutely send me a message. You can access it there. You can see all the tips and advice that I'm giving out on that page, on that group as well. So come and join me there. It'll be fun to chat. And then you can send me a message and let me know, what are you struggling with at the moment, in terms of your health, or, stress eating, or getting enough exercise, or work-life balance. Tell me, what's going on, and let's see if I can help you. All right, I'm done for the day. I will chat to you later, but stay safe out there and stay healthy, and I'll chat to you soon.